Okay, so Yasaba, the other Majasi, and a Jeffax for the honest piece on the can see them at the Abraham. Don't mind any cognizance. Mamma, some of your text messages will be informal still. Happy birthday, Eja George. I'm Pedu Papa, it is of Victor. Of who's been Pamo, a year. I'm Pedu, I saw you know, maybe Adam and Buff Minister. Power Chapel worldwide, and a Modiana Monsran and Wona, Nenimuni do Kesi, now from Cocopan intra 2015. Pamcho Funo, maybe I show Sakiti, if you want to do what you want at the moment. Some of your text messages about, please don't mind, I kindly ask the Education Minister when the SHS in Upper East and Upper West reopen because of feeding grants. It's not been paid for the past 2 terms, so we are in the house at school in the south have opened from Nana Wawa. Good morning, Oma, I hope you're fine. Please, can you ask the Ministry of Health when are the nurses and midwives who have completed their service 3 months ago when they will be posted? And I like this program, Papa, from Introgen. And Oma, my Adom FM has been off for almost 2 weeks now. I mean, no audio. Please, what should I do? From Grace Obogo. Grace, we'll sort it out for you soon. Oma, tell Safwa to stop bragging because Ashantis will shut her up. I know. Brafus too will shut the coast up. It will war in Abosu MPP in the Pristia Huni Valley constituency over additional party office. Mr. L.B. Ewonia. Okay, so I know what you do this time. I'm person can okay, so that's it. This one says that at long last KKD is free, but men, we have to be very careful of women. Kojo Asari of Bomsu Kumasi now at Kibi. And a happy 60th birthday in advance to Nana Nyama the second, Nyani Omaihima from children. Nana Wadarama, happy birthday to you. It is sad DVA disqualifying uneducated people to get driving licenses. Yes, it is very sad. I know people also disagree to the start, but Nana Bunsu, Campaign for Jesus Ministry, it is very, very, very sad. But what else can we say? But Yebe will be advocate. Please, Omani, kindly ask the Education Minister when the SHS in Upper East and Upper West reopens because of feeding grants has not been paid for past 2 terms. So we are in the house. Okay, so it goes on. This one also says that, hope you're fine. Please, can you ask the Ministry of Health when are the, okay, it's coming up again. Another one coming up again. So it keeps coming up. My text message, Nimbra, on 1760. Now the Brenia Kinkanina at the Ama lucky about 4 Adaroma and Edessa and Kitadiwi at the air bro. To make sure, say, only lucky about 4 weddings also. Now, Bibia at Timiako, kama at the amount. Lucky about 4 number different Dr. Junior, our monastery 0243 20 1244. And this was 0277 4658 55. And they I'm a French channel. No crab in a woman say 2017 rather public service workers, sector workers nano, do nano, Ibismomo at the Egu baby. Ibidisa and Common Bra Communications Minister and about one of French. But yeah, quite your best studio Hanum said, yeah. Now, Osia dear yo, Osajifo, and Hunabo Brim. Ehunte Odo hotuno so a nkunimdie be yodia. Eh, no hine be na ye bobo ni ba bibiri bisi. Ni hu ohuyie. Wa shine the eyes at the pay. In fact, we're projecting Ghana in a very colorful manner. Nyina etimi afasa ade ni bi antena bedwam so a. Ka Ghana wona e hwe amona ni nyina no sampa. E waza oye. Nimnyamfo Benjamin Aye, Upper Denchi, Dencha West, and Aquawa.
Yeah.
Oh, my Atlas Casa, and they don't want it who, but maybe from far. We do touch my mind in him, we do Mancassi mine in him, we do a 2-4 a year, Suman Quakin anymore. Now, as we do a year Cape Coast Central, mine anymore. We do a penant temper, my Romica when you never from Zana. Where the Madamo because my father when him to me my Henry is you are the man he baby of Rashibijum. I know the Cacatra, but I mean, the power also. Baby go now by your call, Dr. Manabo, my chain upon the saying,
Namia Dumboko, Nabacho also.
Adomarakwa, the day that Shama Quay said, Money I am a fakwe, more per campaign, and we are more year, the 2017.
Oh, Minia, never in Chakasema at T4. Sassimwe Asema, Metiano. A young mama, Nansumum, say a casse, a Emmanuel Sem, NPP, a dear, Nene, and young mama. Painting a maker, sir. Now, Ninja Maker San say Ministry of Education, for a specific example. Aye, rationalization yibi. Under President Mahama administration, the patrol mean say what to say ye a teacher for 13,000. Now so a then a course of a teacher for 13,000. Near a year and say, it to me at the omo echo baby na a teacher for no ebi in me. Ebiara yeti the who been so say bia abai inuma bi wo ha. Ibinum eye juma si be ebia 7:30 8 a.m. 8 p.m. No mukusu even sometimes 7 p.m. Ebi krompa 8 p.m. Na ube we say few ones bikusu wo. Ebi wo nso a nkofo ebeka say bia okokrempa ube koni office ebia na oye bibi foforo. Mentasi make kan say oni bia na ebi no muka. Efa say bia ne omo ye no. Enu nti se ba bi wo a ebi no mu ye overworked. Overburdened. Na baby wo nso a adwuma ehye ni ho saa na say ye pese ye increase productivity ye increase national output na e de be na wo say ye tia omo a omo wo baby a adwuma eni ho ika enu nti ne wo say ye ne say ye be yi bi afi baby a adwuma e wo ho no esua no e de akọ baby a adwuma e wo ho no e den e dọọso. It's been a mass example of the 13,000 rationalization a course between last year and 2013. I thereabout no. Now say obi ever doubt here. Let's say MPP on file again question. I not say Parliament ever Minister for Education Emra answer how this was done. Whether say it lead to job losses. Enunti, the American say, Ejuma biara enkana kuma entuliyam. Rationalization say job losses. Sabi, say IMF, say straight job losses. Say, it's a strict thing. We want you to downsize. Nka omo nka rationalization. And come back and say downsize. Meaning say IMF for Sabi omo will be there was say omo de ekro President Mahama abain inti say a downsizing on person omo kan nka omo nka IMF kroya na I insist to say for this year the financing from the central bank enya 5%.
Okay.
A year less than even what the law requires. And for 2016 enya nothing. 0%. And if the IMF nankasa, everything akawe ya, edenti na ewo se eyo omudin se omo purchase a downsizer, omo ka downsize, nombeka rationalization. Nia, eyo nwa mumu ne se, Dr. Baumia, MPP, nimdie fo omu nim se eyo downsizer na eyo straight. A rationalization, there are several ways that go about it. To me, say we are buying a dream amount for one. To me, aya microphone coffee. It been the education sector, and when some say, yeah, the problems of the country. Now you will appropriate solutions. Now say, oh, the amount MPP to them rationalization. Say. Omunko yi nkofo adi. And what the American account say we are going to we are by Juma Yeni, and now open Juma, who said MPP air by Johnny.
Hey.
If you said to them, rationalization, excess, you go in of what? My cite example back of rationalization. You redistributed 13,000 teachers. The next level a work rationalization and not just distribution of personnel. The next level no a sika udikum. Mr. Sabe, IMF, a British institution since the 1944 Dexter White and John Almena Keynes, a year arguments you in New Hampshire in a town where your friend Bretton Woods. Almost established the IMF, World Bank, and then the IWTO are so able to me. What the IMF is concerned with, a balance of payment support, say only making sure say, Amama Sikasem, any trade in a cost amongst us, and a bit more cost ye, send a buyer or mind be central bank system, no, and the sector say, who import ya, to me entia, sa a minor. And the IMF say almost can't even about human and resource issues, Crumpuna. Focus pan at the financial side also. And say we are buying that my employee with 25 million Ghanaians in the public sector. Now at the end of the day, affect your finances IMF, they will not look in that direction. But say employ even 1,000. Not still a bit affect your finances. IMF will look in that direction.
Well, Doc, but the Atani, it is said the Ayonkofa are buying way to NDC Emmanuel when the IMF coffee and she shared the Dahono. In him quite fast by any period, a hubi, Abato Ghana for to say, a hunchra, ye be comno, and yen you. Yes, what I would say rationalization, downsizing, who any a hunchra, ye be comno. In Tianope, one she say any mono, a hubi woman, a hunchra be there any man, Mama, who in Temnian, you say, your home battery. Then yes, I feel.
And then, Omakofa, we are by ya. A twisting a matrix to me. Say, Obi bit Mabeka say, rationalization, I'm here with Ministry of Education, no. 13,000, I saw I said for 13,000, we your media. Nipanamrana Omeka. That was even before an IMF program. It says homegrown solution as sema yeka no. And the IMF I program no coincidence no. We actually be a battery. But that make sikasem. Sikasem no so hono actually say. Ube making sure say wage bill. Sika abang editia adwumayefo kano. Ebeye within acceptable limits. Over say about 2-3 years ago, abang workers, employers in Unara, you could share you could deliberate on the single spine, sustainability of the single spine. Through that, Medina Sebema labor union leaders, Medina Sebema I workers. Yet to me, I rationalize the way to see say no clearly. Is on a downward trend in terms of the percentages, but interest yan talk salaries so obeta in 2014 a buying Emma cost of living allowance a cola ubiati this year and so negotiation no echo so a buying to me efunia yede eka salaries no so but it was about the level of increases.
Okay.
You agree with who we know it's all in terms of one numbers now every before can say you being crofwedi and you're not correct. So almost understanding of rationalization and it's a downsizing there then the kind of woman omunjane understanding of rationalization and just a downsizing except near your education sector you move about 13,000 teachers to areas here not almost any teachers need no another one. Two, the financing of it also express much as you will be increasing the salaries, the rate of the increases must be contained within a budget constraint.
Okay.
And some way Makaway, Mami and the Ewo MPP now in 2002, 18 December, IMF memorandum bia ikrame wahase. Na MPP after 2 years of being in office, they were negotiating an IMF program. And sir, memoing, Ura, Oba Ghana, or call back to office, or Troy, your friend Biochani. But they come out the managing director of the IMF and then the deputy managing directors on December 18, 2002. No? One of the paragraphs, or say, the budget will incorporate a 5 percentage point increase in the VAT rate. So that 5 percentage point increase, no, another one, you one as 2.5% increase in national health insurance levy. And a two, you back as 2.5% deduction of workers' SNIT with pensions. A local SNIT, a government and consortium, AP government and consortium on that. But Yesenia, Capchano, say, albeit rebranded to make it politically more palatable. That was what the NPP told them, that rebrand this to make it politically more palatable. But a Hanami interest war, and I say, and will limit the civil service wage increase to what could be afforded within the domestic financing constraints. If somebody wanted to be mischievous, Kasani Panonso ebe misinterpret and will limit the civil service wage increase to what could be afforded within the domestic financing constraint.
Okay.
To mean, say, if the ultimate capture within the domestic financing constraint, yeah,
okay,
then the church also we in Crawfordy.
Okay.
Now, so young fanisa, when your friend say, "Oh, oppositioner," you can engage in constructive criticisms, and you will find your way in office.
All right.
Ghanaians can vote for you.
Okay.
You don't engage in criticisms that border on deception and expect, say, that is going to let Ghanaians vote for you. Because the facts will be out there.
All right. Dr. Manebwama, you better was about Honorable Benjamin Upper Denchira West, also Chiao. Now, Ojibra TV, because all Canano, or Nenep informs as a dear me, the year, Beba. It immediately say, or see, a Boko Kakra, name more, I was say more Boko Kakra.
No primaries, no, or no, Nana supporting and Nana supporting.
Seven soon Wabusano, as I'm Cassia Pan will say, it may be Sanahe, said Nana one at Chia, and Nasa and Ninichi. They was
I wish him the best.
Or see, was it
the primaries, but the main one,
okay, Doc, and that's it. All right, so Minister Communications, Dr. Manebwama, one thing they can even try to win back about. Me say, Nana, not a good one. Nana, people want to say, Abrafo from Zobi Yaba, you better do what I go. It's your quaba, your go PD, your quaba. Okay, so Yasaba, lucky about for a coso Adam was here, they be a done crown crowd to be a faculty of lucky about Edge Murphy, and a part, you know, see a copy, you may know what Joada copy memenda, and a year, Juma. A lot of your text messages about Emergency Bracken Camera 1760, Emergency Bracken Kaidama. What your constituency, Hoboko. Free education oguso
nyame adaroma
eguso ada osi kanaba
umwana kakraba umwana
yes nana muso tawo chikama
nana
mse nana muso tawo chikama ebo amaso
oh yes nana mutaji
I see the kwala no macho so hwewi
omocho first batch natural insurance is here
okay an appeal to paying amo upper Denchira West ebi adameka me sure say munu nyuma pa no aka so wide that mama na cross first line we are na fi national say Dr. Manebwama kan mo yi ba akofo a obetimi edi mo nyum but I need kenken bia you be the empower you know aba so you go cross that don't worry
promise ne dey
over cross
o nyame ti ase nko ade akwa bi naija obi kan o say onto namdana Okotobrebo.
If you are weak, I
say a man for Kumendra, and all you did, but Namitia, I
see.
National Vice Chairman Sucranim said, National Water Sucrana, I should be put to
Dr. Manebwama catch what you see. I'll see.
One day we diagram on him.
Dog, see.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, Quebec catchers up at the West there. And your program who cry.
Oh, okay.
I'll see Nation Butum now.
First vice, I call about Mogodian. Only than form Kakra. About the Jirago for what from one boss, see what the Muhammad Jat to say. jadi a wonde mo be privia
well I'm say politics there obi any who wait me sorry we can say me the bibia shemboto
okay
because in politics 2 + 2 is not always equal to 4 until I grow from
there are shocks and surprises
until I say a toy boss na ehwe na ebesi
okay
I'm say I was say e bi da wonu mu a na auto a bi until ehwe no na onko ne primaries no mi owi a ne aka no I'm say agro from na be
chere all about was about really simple I say from no be chere o de corner could primaries
on when
I see but for me mama kwa be quickly making kind of papers no me dey me hu yen say e ya dia na da oda but ye say ye be shemu kene ye be boa say ene say open driver licenses a say basic qualification BC nya sa dia onya sa licenses no all of them mention say for say office e ho asem say
well ne di kan no say obi a wo person wo drive obi a so otimi nya some basic knowledge bi na ne ameka say ukọ amanone no baabia ansa na ubenya driving license no ko ensohwe nsohwe dey both written and practical nti say untim putu A and B together it will be very difficult if you are between a transit now written exams no but written exams no omo ncha da nyama na nya din bia and nimsa America ne ade kwa no the same question na obekwa kwa answer no utia ukwa the same questions na obesan kwa answer bio nti a very good say obi of say obe ye driving bia na to be driver ni bia no with me some basic knowledge say ufri kwa na oba nkoko a obeduru ba bi no mo say change to bottom gear na ye de aboho nti say bi woni makin kan a na say ukofa for the first time a be dem pa no who say change to bottom gear no watimi atiase nti there is a need for some basic education. But that does not suggest to say driver for sabi omanko school no womu enim kaka minim driver for papa sabi womu anko school and so no track record no very very solid obi ho akaka minim panyin bi wo constituency me former constituency begro friend boy beko so hu cars ya tron boy beko say or start taking a car crane and woman. And so no ende or da so a kaka and money na or transfers knowledge in the amount. Enti mrade emrabia ni hwa ye ya ewo retroactive effect beka say bia ye de mrana bantino wa wo sase say wo drive na GSS and BC my no ye be affect me sure say the law will be looking ahead until no say so the hwemu a obi a yere no ho say obeko school kakra at least up to the basic level ne ameka ne say ye nkoye no very strict na obi a through no fault of his or her went to me school one konya basic education ye beka say ye ma no insua drive because driving is a practical job na ye mo modern say ye de non formal education ebeka eho na ebia womo extra driving no ye be kan si bia obi apese wo sua driving bia no ko driving school no se wo ni BEC kura na or driving school from betimi aboa na watimi interpret road signs se we hu ase obi ye say ye design bi kire na ntwie twa kwan mu se dan you say ye said then also han mo choba ho open ntwi nam papa etino there should be a very delicate balance. Sunday by intro because it's a professional driver, sir. Have you ever called your plan station? Now for head driver for me, bro. It be a move by 50%. It be a no money BEC, but they have been good drivers. You train whom you know. Law no should be very careful not to make the certificate the basis, but should say you must have basic knowledge in reading and writing. Sunday by will be our uncle school. I mean, people will uncle school. And so, non formal education, want to be true, want to be pronounced words near there. Those are the things that we must encourage. Now, Momo, young Momo, they say, near ma accident is in money at the end. Issues like Goro boys. Obi Owa, Obi are not school or certificate or will be a secondary school. And so, one goes driving. It's a different defensive driving, and one is or through be also one day license mom na nipa na ya mo no until the fact say what take care nim da bia me catch me drivers now me say the fact what take care nim what me spark it who 2 years first second e ko reverse no chese we driver adwenya wo de to saa adwuma no ho so obi ba no chair me driving catch me say oh driver see everybody who is driving either so free wenim eba and so free wachiba no sabi hu no say obi abodam
na bo ho ban yi
hu no say abodam car eba wonim no hu say driver na dwin betimi aka no ema wachim si na besi wenim so chim besi wenim a eden na obeye driver odi na chi no kai hu say bi betimi asi ema watie brake so at once otia so a what will you do until once you have that mentality say obi odi manim ne oba bia no ye then you go into the defensive mode. So nipa no bob breaks say me jack distance or bob break at once make me save me ho and money ade nti those are the things we need to look at because some people have qualification they have degrees but they are not drivers they can move the car but omo nim driving ho enyansa obi ho na ma oba junction a car bet me apim no obi si mesi no wagina say unsi o proper driving school and na some your tester testing officer no ebetime no one ante ono na ma na odu sa junction so a obeka si gina uja gina ya fa so we fail ono no si gina but officer test we say e ho no na ka ba no tiase na say won tiase. These are the basic things that we have to look at. And if you say obi o kaka bi especially commercial drivers so many ade no wo mo di nipa enkwa enenam ti o say yehwe and na fe I will see your bomb say periodically no apart from say yebeka si bia wo koye driving tester ko na koye eye test ebi yo ka eye test no kra no ma ye no formality onko no de bibia hye envelope mu no de akọ na ya ma no yi say wa ye eye test eye wa eboa wan kasa say ubehu sabi u vision say na sitie if say yen hye spectacle ni ade kra no wo hye space ya ba say 1 year wo ba hwe no na vision na sesa na suspect wo de kan de a se na nka bia wotimi de ben wa wo kan na se do ko akiri kaka na che se wo se wokọ no mo esusu no mo yi glass no mo de foforo ma sa na wani nsusu tie ke wo se wo wotimi kọ na yehwe wani no na obi wo ha wo be na anajo na ontimi end drive nti yehwe wani na be se be ka se bia wo drive na bo be se anajo a men drive okay those are things which are very very important. We should not limit it to say basic education, I say basic certificate education. But we should look at all this, coming together to give a solid requirement. Also be a form and obey me. And the crap I'm say, Nancy, what they say, Germany accident be a pilot be accident this year. Now pilot Nankasa, I am not say medieu no be your na man why not just obey you na adwen krampo no enso ebum enti apart from say yeah hwe sa anini ade no we sure say periodically no o see etimi check nipa no enso adwen especially on ma ka public transport dem panifo nam ede nkofo ekwa yi no we must find a way ebetimi aye niam kakra na say ebetimi trace normally what they do say sa krachi we say now or the plane as tracy the history and ke bia na amfo play because assembly see your koye no ko emails bia wa ye even site oko suicide site e ko hwe kwan be no be fa so a obetimi dia committee suicide watimi akọ play free pilot ni samo a odi ni pa nyina nkwa akonti no e ko yanim no we must widen the scope and ensure say all these factors no will be taken into consideration.
Right, all right.
Your mind him that's the kind of media or tier for no matter especially upper denture west for and a pencil a chair Cassian comma or therefore 1.6.
Where you're therefore no.
Still going strong.
Yeah,
Benny denture him. And another woman or moment to me am a day. If I am a better I represent denture mine. Well, to a large extent, many chairman Adrian. Driving ni say it's all about say a nipano a certificate. So na de men nyanti ase yi ni say omo ayem ra no de da na say
e wo hold the say
because emra no aba say e was say ukra this certificate and sana ya my driver's license there let us say options ya chairman e suggest you know e out say mra no say e was say unya basic certificate bi and sana ya my license then the issue of say don't formal or all these other things no e out say mra no nya mai e na fei e na ye dwendwen kwan a ye befa so ama ye na ya boy ho ban yie e wo kwan so dia and not these suggestions can be taken on board. Okay. So because yes, this is okay, I go for bebre, pay for bebre. I adwuma almost I drive cars for all these years ABA class 1 crown COVID. So only ko see class here na. Okay, they will be driving the car now far better than ABA or university certificate gra. So sometimes it's not just about classroom work. A woman especially in modern day signage, war quantus to be brain. So science need to example or the may. Unim quantus now who sign out to me read interpret sign or it me a guide or kakra. However, again, said a mechanic, see a better and maybe a tisana. I'll say you didn't council prepare your amount for by a constitution. Nanka, it is after 10 years or so, free basic compulsory education. I think I hear Juma. So it is here to me and making sure say your man for nina at least basic school year. Ubia could be a ria. Na fe would the emrebi ba be discriminate against ubia one kuskia. Let us say, no what prepare a man for the Nipanuna and take advantage of situation. In that case, no, who discriminate against him and young one be. Now here we are. Yentumi making sure say your mofra nina ako school enya that basic education. Meanwhile, ya ban asset there. See how see any else your mofra no nya at least that basic education. It is a one man is opportunity no and as a kwanya no e ma na nya sa certificate no. Na wo say twa ho beka say me de mrafo fro so aba. Uni sa certificate bia untumi enye some of this basic indwuma to say drive na. And no na ama sin talk akra biabam. Okay. So, but all in all, no, I believe say driving there to do an individual so. Or mindset, what dream no pano sorry yet. Doubt team. Some of these little things. The issue of Guru boys. I don't blame the Guru boys. No. There is an institution, system no home house, a system near Juma. Ubi abuse system no oko accuse the abuse system and living system na kasa na home. The system here efficient na ye dwuma DVL for no ye dwuma requirements ne say before obi abenya driver's license no e was say wa oba personally ne ye kokko test you na so akoye exams aye ya check o eye ne bibia e ba ne say na the final authority no it me issue a license to a third person more the comma obi. The system is efficient. It is system is efficient. Lapses na ho no say ye sure say ye adwuma yi. Say system is efficient. Na ye adwuma yi a me hu how Guru boys no betumi so take advantage. Because efficiency ni baby o call portal fake documents. Oh yes. O call passport officer Guru boys. O call DVL Guru boys. Ghana Revenue Authority Guru boys. Yes. It baby Guru boys no no. Human beings as we are no. Tem bia especially say nipa ni adwuma ya. We look for opportunities. So Tizere no ka say ukwa brochi that tesa no. O say obi akosku anase bibisa say no nya ne certificate nya no. Ukwa brochi akwajo driver's license abo use Guru boy. And now ukwa omo pause e clear with duty. You can't. You dare not. So the mention. You won't do it. It's a hard day who say loopholes be our system no mu. And obi a person will take advantage of that loophole no. Na odi nya bibi. To say passport officer ya. Emu baby am say sell cost kakra there. Nenso to say the omo can say omo new machines omo dia buy say betumi a print if say booklets no within a day. Wow apply. Na say on sabeka biometric system be say wow ye dey. Ukoho. Now do sakusisi machines no so. Ansa na yetumi aye book number one. E better than a third person without the fingerprint without whole fingerprint no better na third person be acquire passport no e dia bro.
But Guru boys, yes,
No, I'm just giving that as an example.
I'm giving you also this the same example. Say Guru boys, the moment you devise a strategy, they have a counter strategy. Almost serious intelligence.
Yes, they will have. That is yes.
And you joke.
Yes, I know. But in terms of a system, no so you because for example, o passport no is there any means be out? What do you do?
It's a destination companies. Omo di omo krata ma o say be afa kwaji adia. Guru boys ni intercept say krata na. You ombe ye krata ombe ya ma. No customs car. Customs na be bomb say papa continue for. You be shocked. And you joke. So no. There should be a means.
Yes.
So baby me who how I don't know whether yeah advance ye war you may be a bit of mere boat na ma to crooked to be na better because I want it.
There be a move brain no ye nim papa no na ye ne empese be. Sometimes and pay me bad me BNI for the omo dey go investigate you for SRC for on your main and no more directly or attention to some of these institutions now and can say some of these things no go on no in connivance with
Adom
nankasa bi after all yenti kremu na yenim say electricity company for example amount for meter ya na tamper with any all kinds of things no ubekum no yes illegal connections
na ECG
staff na bia that system no a benefit to the extent to say loopholes will na a benefit the officials no they wouldn't make sure say or matter things
because if one na the back say air condition you film na normal license we o connection be papa no more air condition minimum no more air condition if na there flows na o man papa na team na ye there.
Yes, it is official now or yeah, so also benefited from those loopholes now. Unrecommended. It is now say a higher power be it to me a boom and making sure say system no yeah jumana.
So you see, I'm saying Guru boys are I just said it in passing. But that doesn't mean say Guru boys not necessarily almost yes anyone. We must put systems in place. Unfortunately, said you more will no a home back point because Nipanaka said don't matter what so many and create systems. But when they create the systems, you're in culture of hiring and firing. Obia ye boni, and Mr. D we see a dana. Say Guru boy say, be honest, be on fake in Kwan. But to come now, also, we Jamame, Metwaswama. Or the first system, no if you are a fake, but faster pace. Or the first system, no faster passport. I can. They say passport, 20 minute passport without going there. But how can you biometric near the area? I thought it'd be about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. My. Maybe our person will to quite we have 3 days. Or so there, yeah, biometric na train we not okay. But you see, we must put systems in place. We must also try as much as possible to decentralize. And now make kind baby say, I see DVLA for. License on my year
over 10.
Maybe I went and did my license in Koforidua. Almost 1 year. Miss Massey and Conquer. I'm a temporary even a man. Me quite say my. To say na bo say they mean. I didn't know. Yentiminya system. We hear our license ya no. Now you try a picture no. The system prints the thing out for you. You take it and go. And now say yentiminya in such a way say so we na so the address kra emma. Ubi ebefa your system or address on nipa ne ya somebody calls you.
I ready.
Say what they are ready, come and pick it. Oba room say nafa. Tens of thousands a year no. Information by na DVL for capture entia. Nipa na dey no go obi amfre no. Obi amfre me ti obi amfre me say mayi. Boy you catch am drive be okofo am no ko. Na me say I go check na say ayi. But they must have a system okoye no ya tro o telephone number o contact address bibia o ade dey printing na name ma. But for reliable contact address, but others say be post to their brew. And they have to post no offer now say you need to deal with a postal system where be fraud. They say obi our telephone. You be fraud no about be fraud. And you know the systems is an issue of system. And the nipa no ya there na say nya. Now what say about modern say because master the BI is politicians na corruption. So system in na for DVL free top go sit down one. You only one minister and then a deputy. They are not even involved in the DVLA activities. It is our corruption, a public sector corruption. Now you can want them. Okay. A nipa na ya do mo atwetwe ne ma no mo ye adwuma no. That is where we have to look at.
Okay.
And where it comes to hiring and firing, ya mo mo dey be nya kukudu. So be ya de na enye na se mra no echichire na. Ya be ma mra na ya adwuma. Na nipa hu say isuru kakra wa system.
Ma so enye ready say de better ya so wa be disciplinary na say tactful bia no. Ya be ka so nipa bone on pe Ghana yi.
Oh, so when you so da bia obe kra na with this open so tighten system no. Na wo ma system no na 10 year tia.
Yeah.
Na so obe ya ni a charges mo mi enyi na demonstration de. Obe ko no. Na because of what are they never into? Obi aka tell say wo no onkwa aban adwuma it set of
what are we
it set of yet afre ho yanka
1760 text message na ya share common as ya edesa ebeko middle approach na say honum na say Ghana yina so no kase daachi ejina na say hotwitwitwitwi wo a ha adwen tertiary students to pay utility bills as government shares costs and pay on see any next president akasa wakana dwen che makenkan krata so a ekyese stakeholders ekuhia nyina no wona dwen ko benkro won de onsa share krata say nei ba ku mienu miensa edikan ne say so kwan kra school for fa so yisu enyinam kanea ene nsuo ho nsem no asefem ahomte omutu na jeje mu saa ejiro mu penhyehyɛ a aban so a na waso na se no obetwe on ho na afi ono nka say atua eye ka no de toso biem kyerɛ sɛ sukuu na bi no edida amanfo mantwa omutua water bill light bill nti eden na percentage of about 30 na ya show mu wo campus no one day one ntua light bill and water bill ni bi e ba sa na esisi won a akọ hostel at the outside campus a ono etua all these costs anso ha sukuu no eye enyinam kanea ene nsuo nsem no so no nkyiremu no kyerɛ dodo na de yemfa so dwuma sukuu ahodo na de yemfa so dwuma se mo de yemfa so dwuma de a ene mo gye akatua no esese mutimi di sa akatua no tua light ene water bills a eba but anapen koma ya di no utie de eye sukuu wonu panyin ka me che next president ka se da bi da de edi kan ahokyere a ewo oman mu no entimi ma sukuu ntu sa na mo no de toso o kyerem se impo na ya adwentoatoa na wona ansi supi se wona gye atum preko pese sa krata we emra mountain de toso miensa osi aban na nkoso nso sukuu ase eba light ene eye nsuo ho nsem a efri se ni o ma ye nwonwonan e wo campuses ahodo aban bosha ahodo efa infrastructure ho efa school ye die wono ensi pisa se sukuu betimanya sa sika no se wona di betua light bill ene water bill nti sem no ai bebre ba de se wo so timi de wadwe nkyere ba se baabi a yadu no ene baabi o man na iko no ene ene adesua ho nsem no eho behia se sukuu ebete aban ase se ebraso se won so aban mu na eba light bill ne water bill a won so timi tua bia na olo wo so amfofo ma me sha se fiusu se nkomo a ekoso yina na osusu se ne sibre pa ne de we
yo ne edikan no me gidi say tertiary education and as school ntoaso wo hwɛ ebrebi atwam a na obehwɛ sabre a utimu sɛ ensesan bebre abam first nanka wo hwɛ yɛwɔ 3 universities ana ne yɛwɔ Ghana ha se wo fa Kwame Nkrumah UST the UST now fa Legon now fa Cape Coast and the 3 friends universities oba polytechnic school na polytechnic school na am say 4 na ye Accra Polytechnic, Takrade Polytechnic, Kumasi Polytechnic. There were 3 polytechnics. Actually, and son, Mr. Tamale Beka, and subsequently, no Cape Coast, Takrade, Yanya Polytechnics for a regency. Now, universities, so you can see here, Yanya public universities, Takwa, UMAT, Miami School, Amekoye, Oba, a friend is saying, Northern region, and the Upper West region, na UDS, campuses, Tamale, ene Navrungu ene wa afi oba Winneba University of Education afi se ukohwe yenya University of Health and Allied Sciences ewo ena Brownhafon so ede into public universities no adults afi unie no tree ho a bibi atwam na okay the university population na bu more students kra ewo ho a omu nuru 10,000 for all the 3 universities. So, co-university by on population, about 30,000. What the kabum at the multiply near Abanina, let's say a dozen. A bre dania na a nipanso dane hubi. every bi atwa mu no me ka say every old school no na ye did free. I remember very well in the early 80s no na zigreti a short pa ja ye hodum na school of mines na mpanifo ne ade no eba na ye ya ubekọ na ya cheche de agugu obia pigeon home unya wa wonum no na chese wape ba bia ubekọ akwakofa aton ubehwe no nkosuya ne ade oba ne ade agu oma ne ade agu abia ne so nyama rushing no ne ade because the population was very small. Say eniama asesa population na yekese afi ukọ universities nso a enipa no taste nso asesa obia akọ school or the fridge or the TV or the heater so ukọ hwe heater uhwe ade a etwe power pa uya heater na number 1 heater no kwa etwe power sin air condition wo the heater ehye yim na say wo say o no ade electric stove so enya sam ketwa bokono na kubike bia heater any fridge anyway ni ade na wo enti ebraso say yebehu say aban kwa ntimi ensure that's our responsibility no because say ba ye na yesi menyusuwe ebia yenyusu a friend saying electricity no for lighting I said a baby to the sphere then ya jenko am sure sanka consumption no and also be. But when people are sending all these gadgets, sound systems like I see, amount for SSR at the aircraft, then you ask yourself, should people send all these things? Any part of the academic program until nipa no call hono, na wako using na no enjoy the free. Uko universities also as I say, bebre asati of consultancy services, bebre use electricity at the generative economic activities, even on the campuses. Into me the mejidi say e braso say aban stakeholders say no mun na share be hu say ba bia du no te say obi a say ECG ene via reform ade na entimi and survival because aban ka ode wo no ontimi ntua aban ka no nya say aban na akode ka bi kako but all these institutions prisons hospitals schools no mun ade na no e ka bomu a na ayekese enti me gidi say wo hwɛ sa stakeholders say yom ko ne adwento ato amoto aye na aban so yenhu say aban be so masen na waboa mo kakra ba mo so beboa mo ho kakra me gidi say kai asempa na wo so obi nyina esum na ne students ne kan obi adim say cost of education are very difficult enti ne say yes ade we nyina ye be say bi say snit fo and na ma ye loan ne de ma students no under the snit loan trust na yan hwe say ye de we no e factor wo mu a then there must be a corresponding increase in the quantum of loan ye de ma school for no no matime de take care of some of these things no mu wie na mu ye adwuma o ba pekwa be fa so a o mo de ebetua enti me my humble position is say much as I agree say students no our challenges no the government alone cannot shoulder this. Okay. Again, your students here, they have the means and the capacity to pay. When parents, it will be, I will be to be at your mom. And you know, you can't need these students. Maybe there can be some exceptions. Say, Ubi a school biano, you data. I build social welfare for betting. I build data. Who say, be I know, maybe I will offer and be crying. Nyamya ya Adom na obi aboa wa hwe secondary school and na watimi apase and na oba university bia university na oba no kra no scout begu botom anani ado beto ni ma kra eden yan hwe se betumi segregate na omo genuine needs we say you extend some social welfare service and I say you create safety net at the moment no you create safety net no now those who have the means to pay no one so more and contribute to say na be ya ebetumi aboa na ebetumi nya efficient system e wo ye yim nyina twemu a yenhu say we power no ebetumi use no productively o hwa yen system I want current crisis here the current crisis no enye say ebia aban empese obey an investment in the energy sector. It is also because of demand no there was several aspects of asoba say uko village bia na say me call a year madam for be a year or actually more than ho be actually and a massive a relatively small community. Me fear how me call and then the structure was see me kind of conditions in Kwambe between 15 to 20 or no. Charles near day na first no anka a condition yeah you free a crash near day cry ya na bi muda who be crada and na television sets okwa obi will be on the hall obi will be on the bedroom was so computer or to be a man ma ha and na mobile phones the population 25 million but the estimate say you are close to 28 million mobile phones and the what oman mu say obi a kwa na jo no okọ charge the mobile phone, the iPad, they say it is demand no because of sophistication and the taste at Sanentino. I must say the demand near very, very high. It we must look at one area which is very critical. Now we can now say and the productive use of electricity.
Stakeholders they
productive use of electricity. Say Oko hotels I can see. I'm say Ghana had the Oko Golden Tulip and most of the hotels Ghana. Oko a card. What the card this one now light now so. We free man na do anya sa obi aso ne TV so waso conditions so o free hotel room ho eko akodide so e be 3 hours o betra ayi friends restaurant o be ban na ni nyina esiso these are things are ye nuanom a wa amanone ne ade no okọ a omo di systems agugu a bi okọ photo cell wo ba na osunsum eto ayi no so na so utwamu a na adum. I just returned from friends UK and answer called Labour Party program bi ho baby ya me die wardrobe no krampo a wardrobe no a dey enter the same ubie wardrobe na light na so otu mu ape na light na do so you can imagine this system and the savings that it is making obi wo ministry or conference room akoye na ne conditions so e bia conference room no okodi 4 hours
bibia si so
oh and so if we do not address our minds to these issues now, yeah, who said, "If put two systems in place," I have advocated strongly, say, "You're building codes. You're in such a way, say, Ubi obviously the piano. So, to solar panel, nafa control heating, water heating system. Now, you share how much energy we can save. Ubi out there as part of our building code, no. As we prove what dynamo is, no. There might be provision for solar system. With the one panel, I would be connected. Bathroom water heating system. The amount of energy that it will save. If we do not become pragmatic, the politics out of it. Now you face reality. Say these are some of the things that we will face this same situation, and once demand is outstripping supply, and it takes time to put in systems that will ensure increase in supply. No, we will still have these problems on our hands.
All right.
School for Indian. You see, it will be only
over to us, but you try how many back umra. Okay, so yasa by course that lucky about 4 as I say one go so on day one also as consequence jada ko pim fiada one adwuma pa omo adwuma jada ko pim memenda no nsia ko pim no ngotwe na ono apon anisa oho na kira kwan gomwa ogwa akrom kaswa nyanya ndo kwan so sanso ada karechi first light bu kuma sabre po junction takrade in Crawford Junction sunyana bisim kwan so kufodua odi wani a kire poly akonkodu run about no eho ana be home phone 0243 201244 and 0277465855 lucky here about for adara mona sankita de bro oh you to accept so
yeah school for no accept no I make us say only said the no booking if I say one hwe only NDC for no t forum bi aseti say omo party officials ne government officials e kasa one hwe wo say omo party kra na waban so omo party na waban omo kan sem no as say aye obi asede to make sure say the right thing is done meanwhile they are in charge Aban said no okay from 80s even 80s early 80s in tertiary institutions not yet benefited from a whole lot of things in the school say okay ye maunkus you are maui from 81 up to NIA say about 34 years or so no. 27 good years has been under NDC the PNDC administration Tis a nyoma say ya, when you could be son. When you miss son, for nyoma be na urgent sem. Vision no hefa. Were they able to think and plan ahead? Etia, I'm school sem, abedru baby you do CCA ya. A buying into me a more school for with the payment of say, light bills, utility bills. Now why not see to ya sad man? School for sang more from and could fees and answer again bed in the suburb that parents no so. Teacher for students a school teaching a way or my allowance must see a trim, we trim. I buy into me to have a apart from dubious judgment debts. Suba, Jida, yet we mark contract before Nipa no beko start a human crowd, near 20 Kenya their man. Yet, on your human, a bus set payments there, this NDC government, what the muscles, the finances, and everything to pay with speed. Almost answer ne bad the beboa or mining na ya dachia, then they turn around to say, a bank won't to me. A bank won't to me and so school for us. Now, or money future, our hefa. Or money future, our hefa. We talk about say students population no increase, and I make no vision no hefa. And I need say, or money year when population no cost now, the student population will be increased. It's also two and more A, B, and C. Said your beya, you bet to me. I continue the good era and penny and they keep referring to the good old days.
But that aside, they won't even commercialize water and
why not commercialize the water and electricity? School for now commercialize. School for now commercialize.
You cannot.
Is that what the government is telling us?
You cannot, apart from say, maybe lectures in other senior officers.
You
cannot because school for
best speculate.
No,
are you telling us
you cannot.
School for no air tones you our campus?
Oh, but commercialization, definitely there's some of the
school for no ya them come in here. Because based on speculation. Sabano, because me sure say be your any research or any findings. Be no school for na commercialize school for no tons ya. On country, na ya condemn school for say adentina ye mo akonsuo no na moto. Nsuo no libraries nyam na mutua and yet moto nsuo no. On the other hand, Sabana will say bia on the campus no say lecturers no. Lecturers ni bi ena yes commercial na. Is that all that bank can do? So Babetinasi, no complain and pass on the buck to somebody else. Why I remember said yes, I mean campuses to make sure say lecturer be use electricity and I say for commercial purposes. Also to stop on I said yeah.
It's not about stopping it, but it's about well probably it's a venture. Maybe all the year Juma Masukuno and your home for so. If that is the case, then why is it that because they cited a lot of reasons. For instance, maybe back on that hostel, private hostel, Utia light be water bill.
That is where we get it wrong. To begin with, already said yeah.
Times have changed.
Times have changed. I'm just saying, near vision, if I go to Cuba, I still yes, now what they Ghana from go up to university level. Up to university level, abandoned to be so masina movie. Why not us? You're starting in that way. Are we saying said the resources are your less than the resources we had from the beginning? If Noah, what happened to our vision? Or minor said the kind time have changed. Yes, times never cost was 89. A man for be in charge. So with me, I think ahead. Said Niomano S, and CCA A, and Nioma Saku B, and a more benefit to contain B.
But
that is where we're getting it wrong.
MPP, where we have gotten to now, whether MPP or NDC in opposition, should come up with the reality on the ground and face the reality. Because
where the reality is there.
Remember, more opposition, more campaign say you bring back the teacher training colleges, allowances. Now I got the privilege to talk to the minister, deputy Kujeto Blakwa, and he says that reality on the ground plus other matters doesn't even give that space.
Which one is the reality on the ground?
Bringing back of the allowance too. Now you are saying that the NDC's administration lack of vision and direction and focus. And I bring you into this. He said yes, suggested and I to say school frontier line being water bay. By inference, it means that the MPP is not going to allow this thing to happen when you are in power. When it hits you at the face. are you ready to come and give us this explanation that oh ni enim say say na na tie wa abemu it the way dey vision way dey direction dey focus nemu ampa ebra so say mo so aban ase kakra
it's an example be etisana
well example
be etisana only example be etisa look to show say you're committed to pro-poor, health insurance as one policy I dey buy so what dem tell you see a man call hospital and conquer free mass spraying of cocoa farms and all these policies are they buy not to talk of school feeding programs eti ye hihye they buy no e kire say ye dwen amanfo no we think ahead could be better aka say after all that is what they said per current minister for industry now Spielgabra omo hand over the amount 2001 omo aka say ye be hwe kwan ya ye be fa so kra etu amanfo ka the bia me say okoto say tikase ya wi adwen obofi say emre it takes ideas and vision otherwise what is leadership about if the bia has a problem ba now what throw sir into the oh ade we dia me kwa me ntumi solve then where's your leadership qualities ewa bra me who I said me mama examples of sky you to billions between July and December 2012 Abai President Mahama ebe take over overshooting budget over 9 billion. And they not the year within that time. And they not the year within that time. Monsieur Banyoma said, they find the money. Ye nwe ye dachi huntino. Ye nwe ye mofre dachi huntino. Ye fane miss bia and they are frustrated on education today. So we can create maybe more room for veranda boys and girls. Is that what we are saying?
In terms a policy that government thinks there's too
policy
much wastage.
Say policy
too much underlined wastage.
Then they wastage, I'm just saying, I said you my buying a car. What you here you buy in because who say na said there say wastage you more also check. And I mean in opposition and I say me na also na poko na fumu. On any duties on check all these things na. So by no checking the responsibility now I say you draw attention to it. Not obeke bia no we just buy into it. Then let's say any ubia betumi ababedi or man so. But that is not how us it me manage your man. Resources need betumi a reason. And who compare records from Kwame Nkrumah time up to now. This is the government resources be prepared by the some. Scar be this by some no. A baby are not even Kwame Nkrumah time.
Okay, but amongst the observations in Tia Sankomo we in Eba, and they say apart from say the honorable for some of kind, about some watch, I say different electrical appliances used by students in tertiary education institutions and the manner by which these appliances are used contribute to wastage in the use of electricity and tertiary education institutions. 2, there is the need to reduce wastage in the use of utilities and ensure sustainable use of water and electricity in public tertiary education institutions. 3, electricity and water are used in academic, administrative, health, commercialized and residential facilities in tertiary education institutions. Thus, there is a need for application of a metering system that differentiates between the various users of utilities to make users of utilities in residential facilities responsible for the payment of tariff charged on the use of utilities. And they continue for Energy Commission's recommended standards on electrical appliances have not been applied and enforced in tertiary education institutions to foster the conservation of electricity. It goes on, and then the cost sharing says that the cost of utilities in public tertiary education institutions should be shared between the government, tertiary education institution staff, students as follows. Government should bear the cost of utilities supplied to academic, teaching and learning and research and facilities, health and administrative facilities in public tertiary education. Students on campus should bear the cost of utilities in students' residential facilities, especially as more than 70% of students currently live in private hostels off the campus. So,
you see, that is where meaning omonya dream. A buying was said yes or no, even 70% live outside. No, who knows and can create avenue for them. When to me and create, I want you go and see how most of these students are suffering. Go and see. Me also know I MP before. Go and see how they manage. And say they be out to me, I could try ni fees no. How many students and defer on courses? Because they to me afford, their parents cannot afford. Na say wo aban na wo didi your taxes, you see can ya da nya wo ho ne wo, and you say nka fa hwe saa nyome no. Wo fa nye. Emu 30% ne per they were ready edit the utumi eso masne kakra na no so no wasa be kase no so no untumi 30% no untumi ntua
no 30%
like
no 30%.
No, 70%
70%,
yeah.
yeah.
Outside and I mean assume said that me said 30% no e wo inside.
Okay memo what
I'm say me honorable na me no na me ba TV so say na there are national issues sir. I try to tackle them
from that angle
as objective.
Are there any partisan
now free by if we want to descend into the alleys of partisanship, we lose focus on what.
No, but he takes government to task.
No, but let me finish.
He takes government to task.
Let me finish.
That as a responsible government.
I say, and then we call UK. School UK maybe. How many of them are in official university residential facilities? They are all outside. Please,
please.
UK
official bank use government vehicle. UK official bank. Cameroon and the rest. They use government vehicles.
Let us situate this thing in the context. Otherwise, this argument, we will just get up here and confuse the public. They won't understand.
Okay.
We are talking about education. And I make us say, no, my masters near doing now. Universities outside Ghana, no, UK, no, US, near they say how many of them, and the war residential facility, a government in the Tuyamao. We must not be hypocrites. We must not be hypocritical because of politics. You see, the reality, we have to face the reality. What's the vision? The NDC government realized solving educational problems is very difficult. That is why we came up with the Get Fund issue. Do you know what Get Fund has done? Go to all the university campuses, go to the polytechnics, training colleges, basic schools, secondary schools. Now, Vishnia, NDC or the Get Fund by what it has done, including MPs, their share of the Get Fund process. Normally, they are monitoring there. Don't let us reduce this argument to politics. We have serious national issues. I say, I buy. Look, what kind of idea we say? No? Government is providing everything. Facilities for academic work, classrooms, laboratories, baby, all what they are saying. They say, when did cost sharing started? Are you saying some people buy and cost sharing in university campus? Please, don't reduce this.
Talks about a responsible government. Why you not going?
What the government has done is to expand access so that as many Ghanaians as possible will have access to university education. That is why you create 2 universities. Any a friend is saying, and then now you can say, you create you sign you create 2 extra universities. Back a friend say Eastern region. And now back home, there's another place as well. And also, we are widening access. Because many say, okay, see, Ubaya in such a way, say, Ubianko free, no, the budget. When we have a budget to deal with this situation, and you are a member of parliament for God's sake, and you know, sir, there is a budget within which the tertiary institutions, assuming it's a budget at the moment, your budget will be able to have only 1,000 students. How many are the backlog?
But that comes back to a responsible government. In widening the base, you factor in all these challenges
and
coming up.
That is why when you are widening the base, now we're widening base now, you come into a situation where you need to share costs. It is everywhere. But anywhere, tertiary education is free. People are paying, $47,000.
Yeah, Mama,
when we talk about Cuba, Master, it's an example. You see, when you meet a Cuban doctor, near the Baha, they also come back, not so you know why? They don't even earn more than $400 a month. Cuban doctors, they don't earn more than $400 a month. India, friends in their country, it's a system that they have built. Say, once the system takes care of you, it's almost as you are giving back to what the system has given you. And it doesn't work like that.
It works.
Some say, let us confront them at it. No government can come. Oh, because made them about. They say even 70% now. And the responsibility, I'll take care. The responsibility is that government is taking care of their teaching. The teaching in your universities are free. Lecture hall, lecture hall. Government is taking care of all this. There is one small aspect. And I said, this small aspect, let us find a way. Look, I believe, sir, let us look at how we can identify those who have difficulty in payment, who can be assisted, and those who can pay, and also whether they can also contribute to it. It is very important, sir, you put this in proper context, and not to make it cheap politics. You better TV show and now judgment.
Okay, the government has made its point clear. In spite of the rapidly increasing cost of utilities in tertiary education institutions resulting from expansion in enrollment and consequently the growth in the volume of activities performed by public tertiary education institutions, the government of Ghana has been solely responsible for the payment of tariffs on utilities in public tertiary education institutions. Government's sole responsibility for the payment of the cost of utilities used in tertiary education institutions is not sustainable.
You see, on my head, that is why I'm saying, sir, you allow these people to get away with it. Look, this country, until say we start thinking big and wide, these people will always tell their stories.
No, but here to you.
What are we talking about? Your tertiary institution, we did not pay light bills. We didn't pay light bills.
Times have changed.
Yes, times have changed. And my income also increased. Now we have a country here and even oil. Where was the thinking? Where was the vision? Then they talk about cheap politics. What is cheap politics in this? Me no nyako tertiary institution under Obi administration yentua light bills. Edru yenso say ebehwe mo fra ne di achi na then we turn around and tell them say mo de yentumi so masene and we want them to accept it.
Ebrasisa
and I'm just saying 26 or 27 years they be thinking the core mama
same to your party 8 years in power. Where was the thinking?
Do you come in Kumata no be your fees?
Please,
please.
Please, that's the argument
How many students were in tertiary institutions at that time?
Yes, I'm saying doing ahead Ubo's expansion, population increasing. So the need for a man for an asset space, a man for because schools be dorsal. So you should think ahead. Me no call in the 80s years said okay ya no, a baby na ho. Yentia light bill. Yet ya mambo na ba be she yensa. Said me catch on. Question them. Between July and December, 9 billion now. President Mahama is spending. And they also almost spending.
My other concern.
What's the corruption that is that admittedly, if we don't do those things, a bank cannot do it. When a buying resources now, your taxes, your loans are buying adeno. This cannot. But if we don't question them, so a priority. On second resources now, wo or my on second, it say. Yaya Bibana Bosmiaso. Ye pay a year, Obi didn't dear Rensa. Obi didn't dear a Shenema, Obi didn't dear sit down, we didn't dear whatever. A matter of prioritizing. It's about way say, Nisaka resources now, near Bishop said, then or the end cite examples amount. Payment of dubious judgment desk, payment of this corruption I cost him. That is where Omu Yusu or May Yesika on. Now, what turn around because after paying all this, because Miniska and the and corral school fees. As we speak now, Northern region schools, secondary school for 8 school, all because it's kaka class are buying the call. Now you build the schools no and call.
But you have been in a government before.
Did it happen?
I don't know how person to say.
Are you saying are you telling me that under MPP time now Omunko school because you interview for our grants and call?
But they are going
what are we talking about?
They are going to school.
What are we talking about?
It's not correct.
I'm saying that this Aban should get the priorities no right.
Okay.
Until they stop
wasting and getting the priorities right.
That's all. They're just wasting our resources, wasting our money, stealing our money left, right, center. Now, health insurance, and some of our constituents school, chalk red better. It's not there.
It's not true.
And yet, it is not true. It is
not true, sir. It is not true, sir. Answer school at Chalk.
The students are listening. The people in the villages
you
are
are just doing
listening.
politics about
that is the danger.
Is it not true, sir? School.
Master,
is it not true?
No.
Because it has been publicized.
Boarding school at Chalk. Because you can't sit on it. This is a national program. You can't sit on it and say, chop in your
so the mention. They don't do it.
When we come on air, we must be very, very careful. You can't describe the government as irresponsible. You can't
responsible government. You can't. When they have money to pay the US government, is that responsible?
You see, you can.
That is irresponsible.
I beg you, Pachoti. You said the doors. That's what I can say. We want draw attention. We say when we are discussing matters of this sort, and raw partisan.
Where is partisan?
Because when we get
you call it partisan.
No, but irresponsibility does not come because
is it a responsible sign? Is it a responsible sign? Say school at the time I was in school. Now buying grants also what they call now school and into creative, you know. Are you responsible? Woba. Etifia. It can be out there. You be a school.
No, it says I buy,
you be a school, me back or school. So that mention. Me back school. Me sure say me and also you na ya mako school. You sure say we are what responsible parents.
Okay, but
that's how you should.
Our point.
But that is what I'm saying.
Some of these things are
the issue has been resolved because it is the fact that the educational authorities has been resolved. Oh yes, yesterday there was the Minister of Education has issued statement said they have released the money. Sometimes the processes of releasing money.
That is where the vision and thinking comes in.
Hitting
we knew 3 months away back. The school this time or that time.
But let's subject Honorable Fusompa, who is a key member of this administration, to this question.
By this time,
now I feel no mutu and more send kwadane.
Processes this is not the first time delay abba in the hitting of the accounts of these monies for Northern scholarship. The minister has issued said they have released the money so they should open schools. And so why are we talking about something that has been resolved?
Okay. And the headmasters don't believe them. As we speak now, it's yes, and Qurani TV. Okay. And Qurani TV. And I make say, it's this government telling us no one name said by today. And I said last week, I was saying Qurani Kuskuyana. That is where the thinking and teaching and for
these systems has always been there. When people go to school and their money hits in the accounts,
and never happened.
This is a live program.
You are talking as if MPP has never been in government before.
This is a live program.
34 years.
Whatever you are saying.
34 years, no. You 8 years. The remaining 27 years or so, no. Under the
he made a statement. In fact, I just returned from UK where they are going to have their elections 2 weeks' time. National health insurance has become a very thorny issue there between the Conservatives and the Labour Party. So we should Ghana national health insurance. When we started that MPP4 ECHO, the number of people who had been enrolled on it, then we share the number of people who have been enrolled on national health insurance. It is not an issue of government irresponsibility. Okay. You have almost the number quadrupling. Quadruple number now. You know what it means. So what I say, in the UK, almost some more resources. They are fighting because there's a serious issue.
But you have precise excuses. No.
I'm saying, sir, we must face it. The reality is that once you have increases in numbers, and all can say revenue, the revenue streams, so Parliament now knew how the revenue streams are distributed through the budget. What Baby who say revenue about government or no? Ya buy budget, yes, so surplus go continue. You have been called national health insurance, you have been called because government revenue.
So you have failed to plan.
No.
That's why the president will say that.
The fact of the matter is that until recently, you move into middle income country. This country budget has always been about 40% supported by donor and multi-donor budget support.
But donor,
as a result of
most of the ministries are on donor agencies.
As a result of withdrawal moving. No, I'm saying that once you move into the middle income status,
they haven't
that concessions you don't get it again.
You don't get it entirely, or you get portions.
You don't. I mean,
it is not
the person like 40%.
Don't now find your man holding that. No man
you don't get it.
IMF no release.
You don't get it.
It should tell you.
Once you become a middle income country, sir, concessional support are withdrawn. And when they are withdrawn, it's very difficult for your budget to balance because those things help in balancing your budget. And that is one of the reasons why we find ourselves in this situation. Because
one area, say the honorable Akano, with passion, education, you're teaching,
and I know, and I have my children in school, and I know how education is critical to the success of this country.
I'm sure this one that you
but
unfortunately, xenophobic attack, you know. But anyway, on this one, anyway, on this one, I want to say is the MPP Senior Lecturers Association Kumasi. It won't be about that.
Well, I have a problem with it. As much as your freedom of association, we just say every university, be an institution, be almost status somebody here. And I believe, say. People can do their politics all right,
but not
associations in schools because I'm not very careful. We are going to have a situation where medical officers and so MPP for these people declare baby or mujina. Na and no bikra ko be ka se me yare na se doctor ya me ko no ya bikin da se me ko be kume sa so na students bi so wo cha political science na wo cha ideologies no aba no be ka se afa de we na me jira mo wo ba be ka se o sa me ko na me ka se me ko ka social democratic ideology dia and then na the I have a problem with it and I think that much as they have liberty and freedom to exercise their choice to join a political party, it is dangerous if we introduce this into our public institutions.
I'm surprised. Say this before, I can't stand them. Your politics, democracy, and also your money grow. Maybe I know who's all your MPP, and also your NDC, you shouldn't take anything away from you. The same way I made me a Christian. Now I call hospital, be now, doctor not one year Muslim. I have nothing to worry.
Okay.
It's why should you? I mean, I say, I say we should move on.
Okay.
Doctor, and I said, now I don't know why a professor. Ahoy. He's still lecturing. I'm not sure say MPP for the class they are afraid of anything.
Okay.
So the mention. But the main issue and also
I pray that the for next week in China timetable is free. Now I continue this educational stuff, and then.
But Omani Boama can't seem to be an nuclear. Omani get away with this right sizing of issues. Yeah, or no, Minister of State.
Rationalization, downsizing. We work for downsizing. The IMF specifies on rationalization.
Surprised when Minister of State Kasa also a minister also a Syria call out.
Oh, Master, I think it's so bad. No, we have to.
Master.
See, when we come on,
I thought as a minister
we
of
are
State.
honorable.
That's correct.
We are honorable men. I will not allow.
I'm just all friend as a minister of State to come and
withdraw this statement.
So why did he bring in
why do you call them? You have to withdraw this statement.
I will never ever withdraw this.
I'm not going to be on the same platform with you on this discussion because I won't be part of it. You cannot discuss the Minister of State as a
downsizing. Did you ask him to withdraw that statement?
Or say the understanding of the MPP in terms of rationalization on TSC.
No, that's not how you put it. Or see, yeah, understanding of rationalization say you better downsize. It is obvious MPP near almost want to say and the person should what run away.
But this is not.
You allow him to get away with it.
But it's not.
I'm telling you, that is a serial caller explanation of the issue
because the serial callers will have a different understanding of what you're saying.
No. Doctor, Minister of State to explain a national issue. And then it could be MPP. And then make said like a Minister of State. He never behaved like a minister of state. When you called him to explain the national issue, now we take it MPP on.
When we get an opportunity on this sector, I think that we must know that we are talking to all Ghanaians.
Beyond.
And beyond.
Yeah.
You're talking to me, Every group of people must be respected. Serial callers come on. The fact that they call into radio station doesn't mean that service are useless. But you see, you cannot come and say, Minister Biaba. Now understand, in politics, a contest of ideas.
Okay.
No, let me just land. A contest of ideas. Obiba not say rationalization For us, our discussion with the IMF on rationalization does not mean downsizing. And you feel that downsizing is rationalization. It is context
Why
of
should
ideas.
the Minister of
You
State
cannot
give that explanation? Especially when you haven't heard.
But there's a difference between downsizing and rationalization.
Yes, there
There's a difference.
and
There's a
rationalization.
difference.
Yes,
but
nobody
the
is
minister
doubting
says
that.
that IMF specification was rationalization,
So
not
where does the
downsizing.
MPP come
And
in?
downsizing
That is my
is
issue.
different from
Who
rationalization.
I said you are not getting my beef. Who your Minister of State? You have forced Abraham explain this issue. Who by ya? Are they now attacking MPP's understanding? And no crowd just MPP understanding. No. Who now attribute that?
Okay, you better to us. We don't mind coming Santi.
And that is pedestrian.
Like you about for you, don't want to see you. But to uncle Monoso, and they were poor. Yeah, Doctor Nobu Junior, born on MPP and DCU. Or no call war pania, and yeah, so you NDC.
MPP4.
Then you see, we don't mind the complaints that you have made the china chair. You ever be sure what I'm saying? I could see us for a cantimpo, I crowd.